It's the NFL on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Seahawks and the Lions on Monday Night Prime Time.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. The losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right?
The punter, Jack Fox, has us ready to go, and we are underway here at Ford Field. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
And he left North Carolina with most of his school's records, and at one point was thought to be maybe the #1 quarterback in his draft class. He does bring deceptive athleticism and plenty of upside to the table. Add some consistency, and maybe he can really unlock what he can be in the NFL.
And this will be caught by Brown. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down. They'll go play action. Howell. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Out of the gun, it's Howell. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. Give him 16 yards on the play. And that'll leave him with a 3rd and just a yard. This ball caught by McIntosh. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down. At least it would appear that way. He didn't get it by much, but yes, they do get the conversion on 3rd and 1. And from the gun, here's a handoff to Charbonnet. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. The numbers for him from a week ago: 20 carries, 94 yards.
And we all know he had a big workload last week, so I'm eager to see if they decide to back him off a little bit. Personally, I hand it to him 20-plus times again. When a running back's locked in like he is, I want him to keep touching the football.
Again, it's Charbonnet. And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
And the Seahawks first down.
Now they go play action with Howell. A quick throw there is incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, and that'll bring up second down. You talk about this Lions defense. We know they're going to be tough to throw on. Top 3 in the NFL defending the pass.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 20-yard line. A very solid gain of 27.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
On 1st and 10, it's Charbonnet. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Howell. Outright to Smith and Jigba. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
Well, obviously they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked by Emmanuel Mosley. And the Lions are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ball game.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football. But at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. And out come the Lions for their first drive behind their 9th-year quarterback in year number 4 with Detroit. It's Jared Goff.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that, and they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. To throw is Goff. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 8 catches, 67 yards.
And they think they have a matchup advantage in this one. They're going to try and find some space for him to work and make sure he touches the football.
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. From the 35, here's 2nd down and 7. Now a play fake, and it's Goff. That is caught by Laporta. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That's good for a 1st down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive.
A nice grab by Laporta, and that's something he did a lot of throughout his remarkable rookie campaign. They saw him earn all-pro honors a season ago. Those wondering about a sophomore slump, worry no more. He's the real deal.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Here's Goff. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
It's 2nd down and 10.
Goff now to throw. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. And that will be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. Remember last time out they threw the interception on their first drive. Good news, their defense backed him up, so it's still 0-0 here as they begin their second possession.
Yeah, and one great way to judge a defense, how do they handle what we call sudden change? When all of a sudden, you know, it goes against their offense and have to run out in the field and try and put out the fire. Give this one great kudos for getting out there and not letting that interception lead to points. Excellent job by them defensively.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Calling a loss of 2 there on the play. And it'll be a third and about 13. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. And taken right on the 30. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Lions will take over. Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, you know, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
He's going to fire one deep over the middle. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
They geared up and took the deep shot downfield, but it turned out it wasn't one-on-one coverage. Extra defenders in the area, and that one winds up incomplete.
Now Goff. Able to find the open man. That's complete. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The Lions at 2-1 now to start the campaign. And they were looking good until last week's loss took them from the ranks of the unbeaten.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting this team to push the 72 Dolphins, but still, you got to take a lot of positives from this first month. If they can bounce back and move to 3-1, they'll be pretty well set up for the remainder of the season to follow.
Still 2nd down.
So after the penalty, here's 2nd and 3. Off play action. Here's Goff. A throw out wide, going to be incomplete. You talk about this Seahawk defense. It's quite a unit. Number 1 in the NFL against the pass.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Gibbs straight ahead. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're open to do it consistently here.
That's another Detroit Lions first down.
Goff. He shakes him off. Going underneath, Gibbs has it. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that'll bring up 2nd down. In motion, the tight end. Now Goff. Now that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Goff now looks to throw. Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. Move the chains, a gain of 7 on third down. Clock running under a minute to go in a scoreless first quarter.
First and 10 at the 12-yard line.
Here's Goff. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Gibbs. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be second down.
On the Seahawks 7-yard line.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Out of the gun, they'll give to Gibbs. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football. First and goal at the 1, as they've got it as we resume action. Now it's Goff. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this second quarter. Well, we had the scoreless first quarter of play. We sure didn't have to wait long into the second quarter to get some action on the scoreboard.
So was the first quarter a feeling out process? I mean, that was an interesting quarter, wasn't it? Because we had some action, we had some good play, just didn't have any points. So now it's game on.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down. They'll begin here with a run with Charbonnet. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. With a play fake, and now here's how to throw it. He'll get that to Charbonnet. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And now a handoff to Charbonnet. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball. Off play action. It's Howell.
It's caught. Lockett.
And Lockett going to pick up a Seahawks first down as the tackle made at the 31-yard line.
First down, Seahawks.
Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle.
Start offense.
The false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. Throwing here, Howell. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. 2nd and 7. Here's the give to McIntosh. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. It's a gain of 15. First down, Seahawks.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
And he stopped immediately there. Tackle there from James Houston. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15. Powell, he'll look to throw it. This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down. A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Jack Campbell there to make the play defensively.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
Myers' kick is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So that kick gives them their first points of the game, CD, and it comes on the 3rd drive, but hopefully for them that's a spark that gets that offense going.
Yeah, and I would say if you're the offensive play caller, as you look at your sheet, you're trying to find that part on there that unlocks bigger points. They've struggled with a few drives so far. Finally got 3 out of it. How do you find the end zone? That's what he's searching for now.
Jahmyr Gibbs in the Lions offense getting set once again. A good job in the passing game. Decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it. Partner, the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker has so many different responsibilities. How excited do you think he was to get home with that blitz?
Yeah, he wants a sack. He got it. This pass down the field for Gibbs. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Sets up a 3rd down and 18.
Here's Goff. This pass down the field for Gibbs. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Jerome Baker right there in coverage.
2 things you can do in that situation: run it and punt the football, or try and take your shot at getting the first down. They chose the latter, but they'll have to punt all the same.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
A beautiful fake. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 48 yards rushing for him now to this point. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And Charbonnet once again. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. Yes, it's the first half, but we'll see if that stuff there on 3rd and 1 comes back to haunt him.
I hope you don't mind, but it's not going to stop me from putting a check mark next to this play. Let's look back as this game progresses and see if this is one of the key plays in the game, even though it occurred early.
This will be fielded at the 17. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Jahmyr Gibbs and the rest of the offense headed back out. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success through the air, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've had success, at least so far here in the second quarter. Gone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure, or do they play coverage on this down?
He's got it complete to Gibbs. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Jack Fox now gets set to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A 40-yard punt, no return, and they will take over 1st and 10. Now the ball now going back over the Seattle Seahawks offense. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Room to maneuver at the 35. Look at the big man rumble. And he gets it all the way down to the 3. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. Here's Howell. He finds Smith and Jigba in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown pass, and the Seahawks have taken the lead. So the big play to kick off the drive set them up 1st and goal, and they're able to cash in right away on play number 2.
I think I'm starting to understand more and more when we get ready to do games and we meet with coaches why they talk about big plays, explosive plays, and how it sets them up for success, because that's exactly how they're able to score on this one. We saw the touchdown, we saw the payoff, but of course that big, long chunk play is what got them in position.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes. Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a 1st down.
Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the 1st as the tackle is made at the 33. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're starting to pull away with this one. Early on that first quarter, they didn't look so great offensively. What has changed?
Sometimes it's just a matter of doing what you plan to do better. Sometimes you just put that all together and you execute. Other times it's just in a simple adjustment in your game plan, finding a spot that maybe was a little weaker than maybe you thought, and going to that. So many different things, so many different ways, but right now, you got to like what they're doing. They have put distance between themselves and their opponent.
Looking to add on here in the second quarter. They go play action with Howell. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down. Howell. Smith and Jigba with a grab. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. On the give, here's Charbonnet. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion. A run now with Charbonnet. And he'll be taken down at the 34. During that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. They'll go play action. Howell. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Just a gain of a couple there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Now here's Jason Myers. He gets set for the Seahawk field goal. He was true on his first. This a tough one from 49 yards away. Myers' kick is good, but now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
And this is going to be roughing the kicker, an inexcusable penalty, Charles.
You've worked so hard to hold him to a 3-point kick. Now you give him the ball again with a chance for a touchdown.
So a special teams mistake on the field goal try leads to a new set of downs inside the red zone. Howell out of the shotgun. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
Here's Charbonnet. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
From the gun on 3rd down, Howell. And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks add 6 to their lead. So, Charles, they had him double covered in the end zone. It still was not enough.
I wonder if they're thinking to themselves now, 2 didn't work. Do we go for 3 guys on him next time? Because he fought through all that extra attention, got himself into a great position where his quarterback felt confident enough to challenge the coverage and threw it his way. What a big-time play right there, both by the quarterback trusting it and by him going up and getting it.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. They find themselves down 17-7 as they start this drive 1st and 10. To throw is Goff. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw, Goff. It's caught, Mitchell. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A shotgun snap for Goff. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Again, Goff. Able to find the open man. That's complete. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Here's Goff. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. 2nd down and 8. Now Goff. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
And I think he was a little surprised to see the ball sitting out there like that. That's a ball he had a chance to come away with, but it winds up an incomplete pass.
In motion right, Peoples-Jones. Now Goff. Got St. Brown running the quick slant here. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Jack Fox now. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll get our tour started out at venerable Soldier Field in Chicago, where it was the Bears who pick up the victory at home. Caleb Williams, excellent in the victory as his guys moved to 3-1 after 4 games. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they were winners in that ball game as they beat the visiting Washington Commanders. Kyler Murray leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And they were losers in their ball game to the visiting Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, excellent in the victory as his guys moved to 3-1 after 4 games. This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, and we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side can play mistake-free football the rest of the way.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. A 10-point game, 17-7 the score as we get back to it on EA Sports. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And the Lions getting set to go on offense to start the 3rd. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Out of bounds at the 37-yard line. It's a gain of 7.
Goff now to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen might have moved. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now it's Goff. That is caught by Laporta. He's into space past the 25, and he's all the way down to the 13-yard line. A big play there for Detroit. 43 yards.
Let's just call it as we just saw it right there, a breakdown defensively. Seems like no one went with the tight end, and no one really did. Had all sorts of space in the middle of the field. Yeah, everyone else was covered, but he was not. Big play results.
In motion goes the tight end. Goff throwing again. He gets this out wide to Gibbs. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. I think a free play now for Goff. And this one drops incomplete, but I think the defense jumped.
Offside. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call. Mark off the 5 and keep it moving.
Gibbs. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. 2nd and goal from the 1. Montgomery. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
They'll try to run with Gibbs. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs. His 5th rushing touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are back within a score. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 down, stay on the field, run it, and catch it, and he gets it done.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Seahawks offense and Sam Howell set to go once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a 1-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a 1-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
Faking the handoff. Howell. He finds Smith and Jigba. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a 1st down.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a 1st down.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Off play action. It's Howell. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be. 2nd and 10. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
And any event. It happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had it to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
And I believe that gain on 3rd and long changes things quite a bit because this would be a very long field goal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it here.
A 54-yard attempt.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And that will keep this a 3-point game. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
From the 47 now, they'll work with a 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Play action. It's Goff. Now he'll take a shot for Peoples-Jones. And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down. So who's this going to be on? They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Goff now looking to throw. Throw left side, caught by Laporta. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. That's complete to Peoples-Jones. And he is going to have the Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Off play action. Here's Goff. And that one to the right side and incomplete.
He already came through for them on this drive. No surprise that they were hoping he could do it again.
Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Goff. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Partner, for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
Here's Goff. Setting up the screen. This is Gibbs. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. The Seahawks offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. Now they go play action with Howell. He'll get that to Charbonnet. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 10-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and that will bring up 2nd down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5.
Back to throw, Howell. And that is incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
With a play fake, and now here's Howell to throw it. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. Time for another look at this Lions offense. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Goff. And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Goff. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on here to punt it away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. The visitors' offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. It's a big play there for Seattle. 51 yards.
Boy, this has just been an offensive clinic. It's seemingly been one big play after another, and add this one onto the list. When you can bite off more than half the field on one play, things are definitely working in your favor.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They'll go play action. Howell. Left side here, that's the tight end fan. And the Seahawks are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. Charbonnet will take this into the end zone for a Seahawk touchdown.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Detroit's offense ready to take over. They're down now 24-14. Work to do as they come up on a 1st and 10. They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Now a play fake, and it's Goff. And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down. Inside 4 minutes to go. 3rd quarter.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the right.
He's going to get it on the jet sweep.
And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the 45-yard line.
They'll fake the give. Now Goff. His throw incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And I know that one didn't work out the way they thought, but I don't think it was a bad time to call this play. You're thinking on 3rd down, you might possibly see some pressure. You might see a blitz. So they tried to set up the screen, but that one was well read, and they stopped them for no gain.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense and veteran Tyler Lockett ready to go once more. And he was pretty much unguardable in that first half. You see the numbers there as they try to add to him here in this 3rd quarter. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Here is 3rd and 5. And Howe will throw it. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on 3rd down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. A nice little juke. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt. 6 on the return. The Lions offense set to take over. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Going back to Gibbs on 1st down. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. Now it's Goff. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good. And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Looks like a 9-yard loss. And it also brings up 4th.
And you saw everything that we saw out of Murphy coming out of college. Leverage, quickness, a dynamic disruptor.
Here comes the Lions punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. Throwing here, Howell. He's got a man, complete. Through the middle of the field. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
And able to get this out to the 25. And Detroit getting set to go now. And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish. Throw caught by Raymond. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Well, following the play now, they're going to stop the clock here as a man is shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here's Goff. He gets this out wide to Gibbs. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
To throw is Goff. He's got it complete to Gibbs. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His 2nd catch in a row, 1st down. In motion right, Peoples-Jones. Goff throwing again. And his throw here is going to be incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And his throw here is incomplete.
What will look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up 4th down.
Michael Badgley on for the field goal. A 47-yard attempt.
Badgley able to punch this one through. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Seahawks again now ready to take over on offense. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
Off play action. It's Howell. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
It'll be a net of only 30 here. 40-yard punt, 10 on the return. And the Lions will take over. Detroit's offense ready to take over. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Out of the gun, Goff. Looking middle, and that's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
Good yardage on the completion there. And when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Now Goff. And this is incomplete. And Khalif Raymond was the intended target. And that'll bring up second down.
It's second down and 10.
A shotgun snap for Goff. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down.
Third down and 10.
Back to throw, Goff. He finds his man, complete. It's Gibbs. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, they certainly had their share of troubles running the football in this one, but this play is almost an extension of the running game right here. They set up the screen, let him work out in space on the perimeter, and he turns it into a big pickup.
That's to the tight end, Laporta. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
Offside. Defense.
So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math, they did it well, and it works for them.
Throwing again is Goff. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Williams. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be second and goal. Montgomery. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. A very valuable 9-yard pickup, and now they're set up a little better here for third and goal.
Third and goal.
They'll try and run it with Gibbs. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs with his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Lions have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Well, time to let those folks know who are tuning in looking for the late local news. And we may be a moment because we've got a game again.
And partner, except for those on the West Coast where it'll be seen in its regular time, right? That's the way it works, doesn't it? But how about that? Big time drive right there. If they're going to have any chance, they needed a touchdown there. And they went right down the field and worked their way into the end zone.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line. The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. This complete to Lockett. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Returning right back to Lockett. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. A yard all they need, but it's third down. On the carry, Charbonnet. Fighting through it, he's got space. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive alive.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on third down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
On 1st and 10, it's Charbonnet. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. 2nd down and 6 now. Again, it's Charbonnet. Trying to turn the corner, but they string him out and stop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Out of the gun, it's Howell. He'll let this go deep for Smith and Jigba. And this is taken in at the 5. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jigba with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Seahawks have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter. But that's certainly an important touchdown there. It makes this a 2-score game.
But as we've seen, no lead is safe in this one with the way these two offenses have lit up the scoreboard. I would imagine that on their sidelines, they're both yelling at their defenses, hey, you want to get involved here? One big play from you, that could win the game for us.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And the lead now up to 14. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And Detroit getting set to go now. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. A quick throw, but incomplete.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
Oh, this defense knows. 4th quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
And that is incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
Desperation time for Goff on 4th. Oh, hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
That's a really nice job there by the coverage, understanding that they're in a high-stakes situation. If he doesn't make a play on that ball, there's an excellent chance it ends up either as a touchdown or as a nice gain downfield.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
And this is the worry, because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up, and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
That is incomplete.
Going for the knockout blow right there. I think if I'm up 2 scores, I'd be worried about an interception, but playing this way is what got them this lead. So you may as well ride it out to the end.
Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that almost certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
Well, you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3, I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
Detroit's offense ready to take over. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake, third down. Goff now looking to throw. Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
13 yards on the play.
From the gun, here's Goff. He's got it to Williams. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. And the pressure gets there. He'll go down. It's a sack. And it is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. Goff now to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
Third down and 16.
Here's Goff. Throw out wide is incomplete. Reek Woolen on the coverage there defensively.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee you he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. And they'll start on the ground with Charbonnet. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38.
Block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain there on the play, but that all gets wiped out with a penalty.
Well, that's a setback, but all the good play callers, they just move on. They find something else in the playbook. They can attack this defense, and they go right back on the offensive on this play.
Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Now a 2nd and 6.
Brings up 2nd down at the 48-yard line.
They'll run it here with Charbonnet. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. So the victory here for Seattle, and they've got to feel good about this performance. I think you'd agree, matched up against a top 5 defensive unit in the league, and they pretty much had their way.
Yeah, that was the interesting part about it, because normally when we see this defense play, they have their opportunities and they make their plays, don't they? They knock them back on their heels. They take the ball away. They change field position. In this case, what you said is so apt. They had their way with them, took it to them, and knocked them back on their heels and surprised the heck out of them.
So for the Seahawks, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they also will exit this one at 2-2. And fortunately for them, they'll have the early bye next week as they return to action in Week 6. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.